welcome to the Scott Outpost Investigators podcast. I'm your host, Softy Mage, and we got a special topic for you today on multiplayer. But before we get into that, we got all of our co-hosts here today. Co-host Savadra,
Hello.
co-host Thirsty Blood,
Welcome and greetings.
and co-host Chap from Canada.
What's up?
So today, again, we're going to be talking about multiplayer, about our initial thoughts on it, the roster that we got with it, all the agents, all sorts of stuff on multiplayer. Let's go with that because we got a lot that we could go over on it.
I do have a hate-love relationship with it. What I love about everything, what I hate, it is just not server-wide, like worldwide server-wide. So it's like, I can't play with you guys. I'm sad about that.
We are sad too. But other than that,
I'm a Thirsty Blood.
Thirsty Bud, you can continue with your intro then on initial thoughts.
Well, so basically my initial thought, I loved that they implemented a little bit of a story with the multiplayer. So there were also a few interesting themes going around by the end of it. I do like the concept of the multiplayer. It is very refreshing. It is super fun to play around with other people and having also different gears sets, and it feels pretty good. There's definitely a few improvements the ZZZ devs can do, but I mean, we all know that this is an event for now before it's becoming a permanent mode. So with that, we know that this is like a test phase we have, which means that as soon as the event ends for the next survey, everyone should give good feedback, and I will give mine as well. But yeah, the overall first impression is very positive. I had a lot of fun with it. I played quite a lot of it, and yeah. How about you guys?
I have had a very good time with it. I have enjoyed the general ideas that were presented for what is supposed to be basically a kind of testing ground and like foundation build of like making sure that I guess things are stable, and also like kind of seeing what they can do on a base level with introducing multiplayer concepts to the core of Zenless. I liked it. There were very few things overall, honestly, that I felt like were exclusively multiplayer focused or like kind of leverage the fact that you had multiple sentient beings doing their own thing within the like thing. So sometimes it felt a little bit less like proper co-op and more just like three people playing the same single player campaign at the same time. But it's still nice to play along with people, and like, you know, if you're playing along with friends that you know, or like progressing along the missions with a couple of buddies and you're having a good chat, you know, it's a good excuse to be social, which is a nice thing these days. I like it.
What about you, Chap?
I enjoyed myself. I kind of have the same criticisms as Savadra, where it feels like it's just three guys wailing on the same boss, and there's no real incentive to cooperate. But I think that's more of a consequence of every boss and enemy in this game designed with single player in mind. So like all of them kind of, I don't know, like every single boss has trouble focusing on multiple characters because they were designed to focus on one player, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then
But
also,
there were-
like,
Oh god.
like the support characters, like you had, Lighter and Lucia. And those are like,
Lighter, Lucia, Chingy.
yeah, Chingy, I forgot about Chingy. It's like, it's neat. But if you're playing a support character, it kind of just feels like you're I don't know, because the support characters are in this game are designed to kind of be swap in, swap back out. A lot of them, there's very few that you want on field for more than like 2 seconds. So if you are playing a support character, it kind of feels miserable because you're just wailing with your basic attack until the enemy dies.
I will say, like, playing Lucia, because I've played Lucia a fair bit, it's interesting because, like, they definitely tweaked things about the bosses in this specific run of the multiplayer, and it's like, particularly when playing with Miyabi on a team, like every agent just kind of generally has way better anomaly buildup than you're used to. So if you get the like anomaly mastery gear that just like kind of gives the agent a base like 20 anomaly mastery, like it you can play around like some pretty funny anomaly focused like disorder types of comps, and like having a Miyabi Yanagi on the same team is actually like really fun because you gotta like kind of focus on that disorder cycling a bit. You're like the Miyabi is still being the one fed the most stacks, but like the fact that Lucia can just kind of keep up with her build-up sometimes, depending on the Miyabi you're playing with, is really funny to me.
Yeah,
I will say
Lucia. So she actually was sometimes better as a DPS compared to other people. Like I think on one run there were 2 Yeshung ones in there, and still I was the one with 40%. so I just want to say, like, if you build her with the right gear, Lucia becomes a pretty versatile force. Like if you focus on DPS only, she deals a lot of damage, and I have used DPS Lucia outside of multiplayer as well. So I don't think for this scenario it counts, because Chingy, Lighter, and Lucia both get a lot of extra attack for themselves next to supporting. So you can basically build everyone on DPS if you want to. But they still work also as support. There's support gear out there as well. And you can help other people basically achieve stun chains faster, or even heal your teammates. If you know, okay, I will be up with Randalls, I will give them a little bit of heal. Like, I think I have this kit on Lucia on the third on the third what is this buff sector? Yeah, the chain attack recovery, where my where all the agents receive 50% HP recovery rate. So I've put this in there so people don't die too fast, and the rest is basically upgraded her for DPS. So supports do damage. They can be used and sometimes are better than you would expect.
Yeah, my main thing is they don't really feel like supports. That's what I'm trying to kind of like.
I can understand that.
Like
you're kind of just doing the supports thing as you normally would, and it's not like you're not able to like target that heal on or on anyone. Like the use of ult, like you have to consider your placement a bit more, because like other people exist and have to be in Lucia's little circle when you use her ultimate in order to get the like healing regeneration. But just like as a fundamental support, like Chap's point about it being focused around the single player mechanics that Zenless has had so far, like it's valid, because
it's more of just a thing than it is a bad thing in my head, where it's like, because the game like the bosses aren't designed with multiplayer in mind, and the characters aren't designed with multiplayer in mind, and the mechanics aren't designed with multiplayer in mind, at least for now, as this kind of preliminary test is happening. It feels a little clunky, but it's not like game breaking. It just feels like there's no incentive to actually like coordinate because you can just wail on the bosses, you know.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I can
that's
see
the
that.
main
I
thing.
can see
It's meant to be just a kind of foundational test. That's why they're gonna kind of run it back through the workshop and like release it at a later point in time. So
Yeah,
like
I mean, you have
it's
to
valid
start
criticism to
somewhere.
have.
So of course, the beginning will be not perfect. That's to be expected, to be honest. But they have changed 9 agents after all, for now. So everyone has been adapted to multiplayer. And the bosses, I bet that future bosses will be probably adapted with their kit around multiplayer as well. Or maybe
I hope
even
so.
the current bosses will get like new game mechanic adaptations, like we have received, I think, with Butcher and also with Marionette. There were alternatives to them. I think they will do something similar for this mode, but it needs a lot of preparation. It needs resources. It needs testing. So right now we are guinea pigs for the devs, you know. But we got a cool event, I think, for the first thing after the beta. I think this is pretty solid. I mean, I didn't had any big issues, you know. So I think this is fair. But I get the content. I get it.
I do have one other like criticism that we might get into a little later. There's no requeue system as far as I can tell, because if like someone just disconnects, they don't get requeued, and like you don't get a replacement for them. And for the difficulty of this, it's not too bad because you can kill these bosses solo probably as long as you have the right gear and you choose the right character. But on some lower power teams, if you don't have that third player, that can be kind of brutal. Like it turns what could have been a 3-minute run into like an 8-minute run because you just don't have that DPS that you need from the third person.
That is an issue actually. I haven't had any disconnect issues like that, or
Same,
for
yeah.
that matter, lag. It's actually been really smooth of a play experience overall. I think I've had like one total, like kind of laggy lobby, but I think everyone that I've kind of played with, the response times have felt smooth enough. There was some jank with like the stage mechanics sometimes, but there wasn't any express like lag, or like it didn't feel like it was lag. So it's, I think it's a pretty alright thing.
I also didn't really had any big issues on that regard, at least. But yeah.
I just feel like it'll be
It
an
would be
issue
beneficial to have that, yeah.
in
True.
the future because like if you I'm trying to think how to phrase this. If down the line you make this like a core thing and you have like raids or something, which first off I'd be all for. I think Zenless raids would be pretty but the problem then becomes what's stopping people from just disconnecting, just being like, yeah, we're gonna disconnect mid match and screw everyone, and that sucks. Like, yeah, they have the guilds now, the outposts, but even then, like, you can have some bad apples in your outposts. So I feel like that should be something that should be addressed.
I want to say that the outposts or like the friends actually have a meaning to have them now with this mode. So it's really great that they have that. That feature is actually very well working, and that making friends and playing with friends is a easy thing to do. They just need to increase your friends, the amount of friends you can have, because maxing out is not the greatest.
I didn't realize how many friends I had on Zenless before co-op because it didn't matter like in the slightest. I would play like arcade with people sometimes and some of the other multiplayer events, but like when you hit that like 60 cap pretty much immediately after joining like 3 or 4 outposts. It's kind of surprising.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's more of a comment on the friend cap. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's probably easily fixed.
Yeah.
They probably put a limit here because a limit needed to be put.
I
feel
think
like it was probably pretty arbitrary in the first place.
It's like fair. It just also caught me off guard because I was like, I never paid attention to it, and then the day after, or like 2 days after the Outpost came out, I'm just like, wait, I have 60 friends on my friends list. What happened? Like, we make the Outpost for the Battle Hub, and like a bunch of people join, and I'm like, yeah, are the friends? And then I'm just full. I'm like, oh, okay, fair enough.
It happens, yeah. Yeah, Softy, what's your initial thoughts?
The fact that, like I said before, friends was easy thing to make lobbies and stuff like that. They've done that really working well. The fact that they probably do need to work on how much damage these guys do to make a little more reason why dying is going to happen more often, even though I'm probably one of the squishy ones that did die most of the time in some of the matches.
Well, you know.
It
But that's
happens.
just because some people can't read on how to do the whirl effects sometimes. So.
Oh yeah, parry dodge mechanics from the.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got to switch
that's
between
funny.
the three basically that the whirl effects happen on some bosses. So.
And they're not super complicated, but they are there. They exist. It's for the first stage, you have the lightning effects that you use your normal like parry and swap character buttons to kind of reflect the lightning back onto the opponents. Then for the middle stage, the blazing land, I forget what they're called. You have the meteors that fall from the sky and kill you unless you dodge counter them, and then you can also break the meteors on the ground and they explode everything. Joyful Blaze, that's what it's called. And then the last one, Pale Breath, you get a bunch of miasma droplets or like purification droplets or whatever they are to basically get a like quelling, like a miasma quelling effect that kind of dispels miasma because there's a lot of like it's focused around miasma. But yeah, those are all the distinct mechanics, and then there's a final stage, and the final boss, spoiler alert, has all 3 mechanics integrated into its fight.
Yeah,
I think this is the
Geppetto.
most fun one.
Yeah, Geppetto.
Yeah, I agree.
The only problem I have with Geppetto is I've never gotten a S rank on him, and I think it's
Really?
most because I've never really done it with friends on that particular level. So
I got an S rank a couple times, but I think that's just because my Yijuan is already rather strong. So, and she was the one I decided to grab Rosonia gear for. So
That's
I just
interesting.
had to play this game a lot, so I just kind of had an idea of the invulnerability phases because it was in Lost Void before Battlefront Purge came out.
True.
But yeah, like Geppetto
Yeah,
is like a
I
boss.
never-
Geppetto is a boss that definitely felt like a good raid boss for 3 characters to wail on.
True. I never
Yeah.
really got an A rank actually. I'm surprised this is possible.
Yeah, it's the only one level
Wait.
I got A's.
at least it's what
Ah.
at least it's it doesn't really punish you at all for getting an A rank or what have you. like you don't get as much gear, but then you could just grind the lower levels anyway if you wanted to get more gear. Which I don't know if we want to talk about that right now, but the gear system is kind of whatever. I feel like it can get. I feel like if they keep it the way it is, it's gonna get clogged really fast with a bunch of new gear.
I think it's mostly meant to serve as a kind of basic, easy to understand, rudimentary implementation of things they want to do to possibly change agent kits or like kind of adjust them for whatever they're gonna do with multiplayer. Because honestly, like the way that the like fundamental changes in the agents work with the stuff like the ability to kind of self parry, you know, because you're always controlling one agent, so defensive assists normally wouldn't be a thing when you're doing that, but like since you can do that on your own now, and then as well as the occasional like chain attack and like chain overdrive prompts for, you know, the ultimates and stuff like that. Like the fundamental changes are like stuff they're gonna kind of work out over time. And the gear section is like mostly modeling off of stuff they already have. Because it's, you know, either stat boosts or stuff from their Hollow Zero gears that they had, like with a couple of new additions like Soldier 11. But most of the other ones are otherwise just representative of Hollow Zero gears. And I don't doubt that they're going to just add new things to like agents for exclusively multiplayer gears. So this is probably just a kind of, okay, how well can these translate? And, you know, maybe based on feedback from players, what can we do to expand on these? Is how I see it.
Yeah, I guess I should elaborate a little more. I mean in how you acquire them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Being that random is like I have a feeling it will be random because I said like, hey, raid bosses would be cool, and that's how like all raid bosses have worked since the dawn of every MMO ever. But I mean just in the specific way where it's just like 8 random things, or I guess 4 to 8 depending on what your rank is. There's so many Rizonia gears and stat buffs that they could put in that I feel like the pool would get clogged really fast, and the more agents that they add to the mode, because I like theoretically the goal would be to get every agent and then bootstrap it so that like as agents come out you can use them in multiplayer should it become more of a thing. That's going to cause an exponential increase, especially considering they have like 3 gear per character, it seems, at least every time a new character comes out. And I just see expandability issues. So I feel like they're going to need to find a way to make the expandability a bit better, because otherwise people are not going to get the gear that they want. Just like it's not happening, you know?
I mean, for now, most of the gear that I saw is very generalized for anomaly stunners for each class, let's say. So I don't really see that there would be a too big of an issue, you know, that they would need more. The only thing they would probably have to adapt on would be the middle sector, where there is specialized gear for each agent. But for now, most of the gear that I have checked is very generalized around the classical stuff we have from X special attacks, from stunners, from anomaly gear to energy gear, dodge, shield, etc. Those look all basic and we don't really need, you know, agent specific class representation. So like I don't really think that they will add on too much on it besides of the middle ones. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. I think
For now at least, I don't think there is no need for that, honestly.
Yeah.
And
there's no.
they have the gear that's like particular to stuff like the new mechanics and the stage mechanics. So like there's gears for the chain overdrive and
Exactly.
like
This is the new
other
one.
stuff like the the jolt, the blaze, the
Rescue
purifications.
speed. Yeah.
That there is stuff there. It's just all very rudimentary because this is an introductory event. So
Exactly.
I think there's the criticisms are there and valid, but there's also like not a whole lot to criticize because we're kind of again just working with sort of a baseline as a means of seeing what is potentially possible.
True.
Like
Yeah.
I do feel like a lot of the stuff that they can add like will be more like intending to integrate these things and like going deeper into particular co-op specific things of like one example is the Pale Breath stage has the first section where it's like you need to have all three players standing at different data piles in order to activate them all and make the stage go faster. Like they're all fighting their own battle, and like if you have your traditional team of like DPS, stunner, support, or whatever, then like it's possibly a posed challenge to the support class agents. But like more stuff like that could potentially open the room for gears that help them out. That's just an example, but
It's not a problem now, but it's going to be one of those things that you don't think about until it starts becoming like, hey, I can't get the gear that I need to compete in this raid because the pool is so diluted with other stuff and I have to grind for an ungodly amount of time. And then people start getting annoyed, and then they're like, "Oh, multiplayer ruined the game." Like, it's a bit of a slippery slope fallacy there, but like, you know what I mean. It kind of happens in these games, so I hope it's addressed.
We will see about that. Yeah, this is a development thingy. Because one of the things, like this example, for instance, I don't know if you guys have read it, but if two agents stand on the same platform, then it actually loads faster. So in case for the support issue, for instance, if two people are on the same spot, like one DPS and one support, then it's not like a big time waste or loss, since it goes faster if there's two agents on the same spot for the beacons. Yeah. But I mean, I get the issue, but I have a feeling that they will rework those things before they go live and permanent with this mode, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I hope.
Yeah, because all of these things look like this won't be final, definitely. Like, this is just the beginning, and so we can play around and have something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's I keep saying it, but I think it's a good baseline, and like it's got room to grow and ruminate and be more co-op feeling. One thing I personally hope is that, like, with the way, and this kind of gets into the lore a little bit, so spoilers, but like with the way the like presentation of the event went with we're in the Papago Hollow, and it's one of the great hollows that we spent all of season 2 in the Lemnian Hollow, and now like this next hollow with somewhat similar but different properties is like becoming the next big challenge, or at least is being teased to be so. I hope that they integrate some co-op aspects into the next main story if we continue exploring the Papago Hollow and the Divine Maze. I think that would be insanely cool.
I
Right.
I agree. Like the story
Yeah.
needs to have a very big aspect of multiplayer added to it. If they once they do add it as a true mode.
I'm gonna push back on that a little bit because I don't want to get griefed for trying to do the to do the story.
Okay, that's
And
fair enough. But I also am also
if they make it
entirely going to
optional-
do it just with friends.
Yeah, I'm more saying like from both like perspective of like a new player going back on old story content. There's gonna be no like you're gonna only have other new players likely in there, and that entirely depends on the churn of the game.
I guess that's true.
There's going to be the potential of people going in and griefing them, and also like it as long if it's optional, like if you can do it solo or multiplayer, I'm all for that. But if they force it, that's when it's going to become a little bit of an issue, because that means that you kind of have like a time frame on when you can complete it with ease for your average person. Sure, you could go like you could like find some friends. It's not like they do it. They have an absence of like recruit friend events and stuff. But it's also one of those things that's like band-aid solution to a problem that didn't need to exist. So as long if they make it optional, then yeah, whatever. Criticism is completely null and void. But if they make it mandatory to do multiplayer in that situation, I will be pretty displeased.
That's fair. I just want to stay in the Papago Hollow for the extended period of time because the concept of Divine Maze is really cool, in my opinion.
Completely weird like anecdote for that. You guys ever play Titanfall 1?
I played a little bit of it.
You had the campaign was mandatory multiplayer. It is damn near impossible to play the campaign nowadays.
I see.
Honestly,
So like that's what I'm just worried about. Is we're gonna get a Titanfall 1 situation.
I think
Honestly,
I get what you're talking about.
Yeah, I didn't like think about the longevity issue when I like posed the idea. Like that's a good point. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't need multiplayer in the regular story. I think multiplayer should be definitely just a separate permanent event, like Deadly Assault or Shield Defense. This is totally fine. Story included, I don't think this is really worth it for ZZZ, and I suppose that the devs know that as well. That this wouldn't be a good idea, because then you have so many double agents and etc. It wouldn't really make sense. It would disrupt the story feeling as well, and everyone has a different pace for doing story. So they should really. I don't think they will merge story and multiplayer.
No, I don't.
Yeah, they will separate those things. I'm pretty sure of it.
Mm-hmm.
They can make stories for events, for multiplayer events. This is fine. But with the real main story, nah, don't do that. Don't do that. This is a side mission quest you can do as a little story with multiplayer, but not the main quest. Nah. I don't believe that will happen. And I would be against it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's
all right, well, just fuck me, I guess. It's fine.
We're not personally attacking you.
Yeah, no, it's just the idea. Again, there can be story event relevant, There's so many different events that have the little side story that kind of interludes with the main story, but I wouldn't make multiplayer fuse with the main story. I don't think this would be... I think this would disrupt even more the CCC flair we had before. You know what I mean? So
I get it, and like that's a joke. I was just also like, this is the most that I've been pushed back against an idea for, just out of the blue. I'm like, all right, fair enough.
Everyone just slaps Sivatra in the face, and then we can move on. And joking.
From the lore to maybe talking about what your guys' most used agents are in the multiplayer.
So
Kingy.
yeah, I was gonna say Chingy. Chingy as well is my favorite of all the characters to play as. So just slam in the
I
ground.
I spoiled it before, but mine was Yujuan. So I was a DPSer.
I mostly defaulted to lighter, but I have really enjoyed playing Ellen in this event, especially with like when you get the chain overdrive and you get the like infinite energy and you have her exclusive gear that makes the like using Sharknami like cost free energy basically when you have the mark on the enemy. Like you can basically, when you get the chain overdrive, just the energy refills so fast it gets like you can use Sharknami, then cast Icy Blade, then Sharknami again, then cast Icy Blade, and like you just repeat that for like 15 seconds, and it's like it's really funny and really cool. It makes me feel like I have M2.
Nice. Yeah, in my case, it was Jingyi and Lucia. They're both pretty much nearly the same. I do believe, though, it was mostly Jingyi I used. But from these 9 characters who are presented right now, I have only 4 of them: Jingyi, Miyabi, Soldier 11, and Lucia. And I did play with Miyabi, I think only 2 times. I played with Soldier 11 between 5 to 10 times. She's actually really strong. I like her in the multiplayer. And I have her build now, finally, after such a long time. I just need to get good with her.
Nice.
But yeah, most of the time I used Jingyi or Lucia, depending on what the other people decided to use. Which is funny because most people refrain from using supports or stunner. Like there were not many people using Jingyi, Lucia, and I think I only had one instance from all the battles where Lighter was present. Otherwise,
Really?
there was never anyone using Lighter apart from one particular multiplayer fighter that was against Geppetto. But
Man,
other
it's a shame you're not NA. I'd be in all of your lobbies as later.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think-
this is why. Yeah.
I think that's more of a consequence of like what we were saying before, where there's like no real incentive to play the support, so everyone just plays DPS.
No, I just think that the most played character was Miyabi and Yeshuang, so it's more like people were so focused on the strongest attackers. Yeah, Miyabi, Shungwang, and Yishuan, those 3 were most played.
Yeah.
Everything else was a side character for most of the people, so it's more like people wanted to use the Void Hunters. It's
Yeah,
just simple.
and-
It's plain
And
simple.
that's totally fair.
Yeah, it's
But-
okay for multiplayer with randos. It's totally fine. Like, I get it. But yeah, I preferred the other agents, definitely.
What I was gonna say was that the game doesn't punish you for it. It's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, you can run a team of Void Hunters, sure, why not? Which
Yeah, but you know what's
that's not a
funny?
criticism, by the way. That's a lot of fun to do.
True. By the way, you know what's
It's just
funny?
a thing.
I played. We had one team. I had one team composition where there were 3 Miyabis. So there was one M0, no, 2 M0s and me as the M2. The fight took longer than other battles where we had 2 Lucias and like a Yanagi or so. So the supports are actually really busted in this game mode. Like I said before, with Lucia, I got more points and damage against 2 Yeshung ones. So it's like the supports are kind of broken a little bit if we are honest. They got really good buffs if you focus on attack for them.
I've
Yeah.
seen a lot more triple Lucia lobbies than I think I was anticipating to. Because
Really?
triple Lucia kind of goes crazy.
True. I can see
It's
why.
It's just like
Triple lighter.
the triple
lighter
stack.
is-
Triple lighter is also a funny one because Like the lighters like have not their own individual elation stack count. So like if every lighter does their morale burst, you just have 60 stacks of elation and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Certified JoJo's Bizarre Adventure moment.
I think
Also, the
my
stunts are super fast. Sorry.
yeah.
Sophie.
I think the only character I disliked playing with was Ji Guan, and that's just because I never really saw her. It looked like she was doing anything. She was just flying around the board, and I think that was just because that's just her character kit is like that. So that'd be my only gripe, but as character wise. But other than that, I think all the characters that they chose were well inputted.
I'm surprised they didn't have any defense agents.
Yeah,
I feel like this would be like the perfect time to showcase that they could be more than meets the eye, and then they didn't put any defense agents in.
The abominable Ben Bigger running through the field at 5 miles per hour.
Come on, you can't tell me that wouldn't be funny.
Oh my god, imagine Pan and Ben at the same team, but they're slow as fuck.
Yeah,
Oh,
we need
man.
we need the third bear character to come in. No, actually no, you run Ben, you run Panda, and you run Banyue, and it's just like, all right.
Ruth Nuke.
Oh my god.
Do you think they're
I
going to
mean-
actually implement the A ranks into this mode, or is it just going to be S ranks?
I hope they implement A ranks.
Yeah,
But-
they should implement everyone, honestly. Like every agent that is in the game should be in multiplayer. But it will take time. They have to think about it. But regarding the defense class, I think they kind of need to find out what they want to do. And sadly, I can't talk more. But what I can say is I'm pretty sure they will test new stuff with the defense class and find new ways how to implement them, especially also for multiplayer in the future. I'm pretty sure they are working on it.
Yeah, I just think it would have been a perfect opportunity to throw Caesar in. Like, I know her buff is only supposed to be the active character, but they were already buffing agents. I feel like having Caesar in there, giving like your entire team the shield, would have been a great support buff. And then just having her be able to parry every attack. Maybe she could just draw to aggro more. I don't know.
Don't worry.
I'm
Defense
sure
rework. The defense
Yeah, I'm
rework
sure
will
we
come with the permanent multiplayer. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Every defense agent will simply be the best agent to have. That's factual
these-
and real.
One of these days. I don't know. I just thought it was a little odd, but
You know, good things take time, and the more time it takes, the better the outcome might be.
I will say, on the topic of like funny appearances or like agents that kind of weren't in there, the Astra appearance in the story felt really random. I'm not saying it was bad. It was just kind of like I was surprised to see Astra there, and like, you know, shout out to Molly. Molly's a great voice actor. It was just also like, where will they expand on the movie that she's filming in the near future? No,
Astra,
Probably
where's
not.
your wife?
I think
That's
they
also true.
will.
Where's Evelyn?
Yeah, I
How
think
did-
they will do that. They have done
Like-
this before.
Like, we know Astra's great at getting away from her like responsibilities because that's just Astra's character, but Evelyn's kind of like a hawk. I don't imagine that there were very many instances where Astra would go and Evelyn would not be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it like absolutely not a criticism. It's just like an odd thing.
It was a funny appearance. Also, they just like completely like dismantled Bernius, and like she got caught in the illusion of the divine maze, and I was sad about that. But they saved her, so I'm still happy
Yeah.
about that.
Honestly, well, this is something I really loved, the implementation about Bernie's song during the battle. Like this was awesome. I loved it. They put the real song in. I hope that they continue to do this and making it for every character like a secret stage. I love this. This is like such a little, fine extra that just elevates the game experience. And I mean, come on, Mocktails Mixer's Eyes. The snakes are real nice. Who doesn't know this song?
Burning Desires is now a canon song in the ZZZ game lore, and I don't know if it's the first song to be canon from an EP, but it's canon, and people cannot
Exactly.
complain.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a cool thing, most definitely.
I got flashbanged by that. I don't like that song. And I thought I was watching a stream while playing it, and I'm like, who the hell's playing Burning Desires right now? And I look at the stream and I'm like, this is not what? And then I'm like, I turn down the volume of my game, I'm like, oh, it's from the game.
Yeah, it was funny to find that the first time.
True.
I got flashbanged by that.
Okay, let's go into the one agent that you guys wish they had it in this mode.
Honestly,
Well, I
Bernice.
alluded to mine. I alluded to mine already. Mine was Caesar. I'm surprised that they didn't put Caesar in.
Mm-hmm. What are you, Thirsty?
I would have said Bernice after she was rescued could have been added, like story relevant wise, but I guess she was a little bit dizzy afterwards, so yeah.
Yeah. For me, like, between the appearances of, Astra, Bernice, and Zhao all being, like, kind of accessory, those are kind of the default answers. But I think one and I would have I would have really liked to see, just for the sake of being funny about it, is Hugo. Like, I
can see why. I can see
I
why.
want to totalize Yours Done Windows so badly.
Oh my god.
I didn't even think about that. Like, story implications. Like, why is Hugo here? Imagine he's just in, like, a really shitty disguise.
Like
Section 6 Hugo goes crazy. I mean, they dressed him in as Nebs once. It's possible.
Yeah, true. They did this one. This would have been funny. Hugo skin when, right?
I mean, that could have been a perfect opportunity to give him a skin too, where it's just like there's a really bad like hand disguise or something like that.
Right. I mean, if it's one from my favorite characters and aside from the story, I definitely would vouch for Corin or Yutari, but things take time.
Yeah.
Softy, what about you? Which agent would you have wanted to see?
So I would have liked to see one more anomaly character, whether it be Jane or Bernice. Bernice more because I do like that character more, but it would have been nice to figure out disorders a little bit more within the game and how they work.
I can see
within multiplayer mode.
Playing that triple anomaly team and getting owned by internal cooldown.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of awesome. I'm curious mechanically how Vivian would work in a multiplayer mode. Now that you bring that up,
she would nuke. Imagine there's gear where triple anomaly is possible because there's a gear that actually reduces the disorder time frame limit to 0.
God, imagine the day they have some engine or disk set that, or I guess agent that would be like makes disorders faster. There we go. Those are the words. The day they mess with that, like internal cooldown stuff, is like the day Anomaly goes straight back into being the king of ZZZ.
I hope they don't do that, to be fair.
I hope they do. I'm an agent of chaos.
I see. That's fair. I see.
So before we go to go ahead.
I just wanted to say again, mine Caesar. I'm just surprised that they had 0 defense agents, specifically because they retooled the like defensive assists. And also, I feel like, I don't know, if we're going from story perspective, more often than not, like if Lighter's somewhere, Caesar's probably there because it's kind of like the bodyguard thing. But then again, Eve wasn't there to protect Astra, so it's like, doesn't matter too much. But I kind of wish there was Caesar, even if she wouldn't be that good. I feel like it would have been nice.
Okay, hold up. Hear me out. Let me cook. Next time multiplayer comes around, they put Billy in there. Involve the cunning hairs. Give Billy the transition to his S rank form. Boom.
Yep.
Absolute cinema.
Absolute cinema.
This would be interesting. Yeah.
All right. Before we go on to our next topic, a word from our sponsor.
Somebody went to a
Fantasy Resort.
After you vacation in the water park capital of the world, you'll never look at water the same way again. Plan your next trip today.
I'll call the plumber.
That's right. Fantasy Resort is the sponsor of this podcast. Come relax and enjoy the many amenities that this resort has to offer. Fantasy Resort has a deal for you. Show that you've liked and subscribed to our podcast and you'll get 10% off your next visit. Thank you, Fantasy Resort, for sponsoring today's video. Let's go on to Ultimates and OneDrive, or OverDrive. How do you think? Great OneDrive. I meant to say OverDrive, but it was bad. So Ultimates and OverDrive. What do you think? How do you think those implementations were? Were they good in this mode?
I think they were perfectly acceptable. I don't think they were necessarily like they kind of just feel like the big red button you press when it's off cooldown, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just kind of what it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
So
I have to say, yeah, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say it's completely serviceable. It's perfectly okay.
Yeah, I agree. It felt pretty good. Sometimes a little bit janky. The thing I liked about it is that sometimes you were able to get a really good rhythm. Let's say, for instance, with Chingy, because you can also gain from the chain attacks. You can gain an ultimate as well. I don't particularly know exactly when this is activated. But you can make sometimes it's permanent. You make one of your chain attacks, then you do, for instance, the Chingy hold basic attack, then you can do another chain attack, followed up by an ult, and then do another chain attack, and you have like a rhythm flow that goes like for 10 to 20 seconds, and it feels just awesome if you hit everything and everything is exploding. This was kind of funny, to be honest. Is it perfect? I don't think yet. I think there can be more done to make the experience even smoother. But because for now, even with stunning the enemy, when the stun is starting, it feels like not as you are entering a stun, if you know what I mean. Like, I'm not sure if the stun bar is the same for everyone or if this is like, separate, because you can make so many chain attacks in between as well. This is the only thing that was a little bit confusing, and I didn't really go into detail because of, me just enjoying for now and seeing what is happening. I think there can be a few improvements, honestly, so that you feel the CCC oomph when you enter a stun window. Because I was expecting like everyone goes into a little slow-mo state, and then there's chain attack after chain attack. But they made it different, so it's like, okay. I mean, it's also a solution. It worked, so I can't complain too much about it.
I think they should get rid of the cutscene. As much as people like to see the little animation for the cutscene to the ultimates, I think they need to get rid of that for this mode, because sometimes you do miss with the ultimate. But I think other than that,
Really?
it still is nice to play with ultimates and one OverDrive. I keep on saying OneDrive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
the proper like alt animation things are like kind of a jarring thing in this game mode, because like even though you're in your alt animation and like also like when you're doing like things and someone else uses their ultimate, you can hear their like voice line, but they kind of just disintegrate from existence for 3 seconds for the alt animation to play. And like sometimes the boss can move, sometimes it's like doing an invulnerable thing immediately after, and you know, like be a little careful with the timing in order to not get like completely pranked by that. But for the chain overdrive thing, like it does also play an alt animation, but one, they have different voice lines, which is always a plus in my book, and two, it freezes time when you trigger chain overdrive, so you're able to kind of do most of your dumping there. I think in like an ideal world, there's probably going to be a thing where it's like you try and align a stun with having chain overdrive and then just completely explode a boss or whatever. That would be cool to see in the future. But like otherwise, it's more just like I like the implementation of kind of again the self parry, the self chain attack. Does feel like what Blood was saying, with just kind of having it on a specific cooldown. Or was that chat? It was one of you two. Anyway, you kind of just press the button when it comes off cooldown, but it comes off cooldown a lot faster during chain overdrive, and it's pretty cool. Like you're just constantly doing chain attack, and like Lighter is one of my favorite characters, so I like just uppercutting and then not being able to spend all of my energy while being in constant morale burst, and also with the Ellen thing of being able to do Shark Nami, Icy Blade, chain attack, etc. It's very cool stuff.
It's super funny, yeah.
And it just feels like I'm overpowered for a little bit, and it's a nice feeling in a game that you're typically struggling in.
It's I've been having a lot of trouble articulating my thoughts today.
That's okay.
Oh, like I said, I it was me who said the big red button. It does kind of feel like that. Like there's no strategy to actually using it unless you're coordinating with people. But it's not a bad thing. It keeps it simple. But it's still like there's a part of me that wishes that it had a little more depth than just when the button is off cooldown, press the button.
I mean, maybe it comes at a later time. So
Most likely.
also we have to think about other people, like the casual player base just wants to button mesh, you know. So you have to,
Yeah, and that's why
as
I'm
a
saying
CC dev, it's difficult to find the right line. But I get you. I would also wish to have a little bit more in-depth for multiplayer to make real, like, hands-on coordination with your team. That would be really cool, honestly. But then how do you communicate if you don't have Discord?
Yeah, that's what I was just about to bring out. That's why I'm like, it's not a bad thing. I just kind of wish there was a little more to it, but it's like a minor thing. Things that I brought up earlier in this episode, I think would be better handled first than that. Like, because bare minimum, like you just save it until the stun window, you know.
True.
Yeah.
Mm.
But
sometimes it did come a little bit before the stun window. Sometimes it came right after the stun window, but still, it's a red button. You press it.
yeah,
It's blinking. I need to press it.
The way people communicate is through the emote wheel. When you send the "I'm gonna explode" emote, that's your cue to press the chain overdrive button.
I've never used any emotes. I'm the silent player.
The voice emotes are fun. I haven't used
The voice
anything
emotes
else.
are cool. Yeah. But for the multiplayer itself, I never used any emotes or tagging or whatever there is present. I'm a silent player. I just play, and it works. So,
I think that might be something that if they put a focus on multiplayer, they will probably need to figure out something for communication, but that isn't just the emote wheel, because
a
I don't
little
know,
chat
ZZZ
box-
is kind of fast.
a little chat box would be nice instead
But-
of just emoting.
Oh, what I mean by that is like ZZZ's fast, and you don't really get like a chance to stop and chat. So a chat box would be nice, but if you stand still and talk and then you get smacked in the face, that doesn't feel very nice. But I'm
Oh,
also
I mean-
hesitant adding like a voice chat, because
I mean, before battle, when there's the timer, when people use the gear, I think this is
yeah.
Yeah, not during battle. No. During battle, I wouldn't just use emotes in the best case. But I think for battle preparation, like having a little chat box for the 30 seconds or 1 minute, maybe even, extend the timer, and then so people can prepare. And if everyone presses ready, then the timer shortens to 5 or 10 seconds remaining. So that would be ideal in my book at least, but I could be wrong about that because this is pretty subjective.
Yeah, it's a solution that a problem I don't think we would have the answers to. We can only really lightly comment on it.
Clearly we just add voice chat to ZZZ, and that just goes
That
completely
would
fine.
go atrocious, and
No, there would be no problems with the voice chat in this game
Oh, no.
whatsoever.
Imagine people who have spent way too much money on the game, like yelling at someone who just picked up the game. That would breed so much toxicity. At least with this system right now, all you can do is spam Bernice's. I'm gonna pet you. I'm gonna pet.
I actually had only one instance where my teammates were stressing because what was it? I think I chose to use. That was both players used Ye Sheng Wang, and I was using. I think it was Ye. Was it Ye? Probably. And I used Lucia. And they were complaining they need a DPS, and I just stayed in Lucia until the timer dropped down. And at the end of the day, I had more DPS points than both of them, but there was so much stressing about me getting the DPS. It was kind of hilarious. So I don't know what that was about, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Let's go into, we've already talked about world effects, but like, do you think this mode needs to be a little bit harder so that way like dying or resurrection mechanic was much more like a necessity in the game?
I think the fact that most people caught off guard or jump scared at least by the how fast the defiler like knife died and promptly then also perished either because of long and bouncy animations from Ye Sheng Wang or from not being able to get into the center immediately otherwise
With Lucia,
was
yeah.
like the only good case of like being able to see the resurrection mechanics in their activity. Because like I think most people just kind of aren't dying in like plenty of places except there. And like to resurrect someone, if they go down, you need to like stand in their circle for a period of time. And the boss is still kind of coming at you while that's happening. So if only one person dies, then it's possible that the other person can like take aggro and then the one person can kind of focus on reviving the downed player for free. But if two people go down, then you need to maintain yourself in both of your allies' circles while also just getting the snot beat out of you by Defiler. And it's kind of funny, but is also gonna be hard to manage depending on how aggressive a boss you're playing against. And I think Defiler in her miasma phase is fairly aggressive enough that it's a decent challenge when it does happen. There's just also, I don't think, a lot of places that I came across, at least, where like the death or resurrection penalties really exist. So I don't know. I think it could be a little harder, but I also think people would probably be a little upset if they were just dying because they don't know how to like distinct boss mechanics or like study a boss or whatever. And it's not like you need to do that for this game mode right now, and probably won't need to in order to keep it accessible.
Yeah.
But at that point, there's just no consequence to dying, really. So I don't know. I think it could be worse or could be harder. I think it could be just fine as it is and just prove a casual challenge, and it would be all right either way.
It entirely depends on what the devs want to focus on. And also, if this becomes a mainstay and it like they start attaching polychrome awards to it, then I wouldn't want it to be difficult, because that means like players who need to build their accounts, they can kind of get like, if the boss is just too tough, right? Like you need a decent team, then and polychromes are hidden behind it, then you're just losing out on polychromes until you can get your account strong enough to compete. And then compounding with like the gear issues that I said earlier that could possibly exist, it can make like, if you make it too hard, there's like a compounding accessibility problem where like boss is too hard, so you need gear, but you can't get gear until you fight and do more multiplayer. But you can't do multiplayer because you're not strong enough, because you need polychromes, and you need every polychrome that you can get, and you're losing polychrome, and it's just like the cycle until you eventually can break it. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, the world effects themselves, I think they are okay as they is, because you can still get hit by them, by the lightning or by the meteors, because I think this was the previous questions about the world effects themselves, the outer ones next to the bosses. I think they are fine as is. Like I myself do prefer sometimes a little bit more of a challenge, and if you have to keep track of a boss, but also keep track of external world factors, I don't mind it, because right now they're easy to either parry, dodge, or collect. Even though I have to say the miasma droplets are a little bit annoying during the fight when you have to run around. Not sure if this is the best mechanic to. You have to run around, and if the boss follows you, then you have to maybe dodge or parry, and then you are completely different space suddenly again. I'm not the biggest fan of those, honestly, but it's whatever.
Yeah.
But the world effects, honestly, I think they are very refreshing. And I have mentioned before, but the Geppetto fight is actually the most fun boss to raid, because it represents all battle mechanics and stages that are present currently in multiplayer. And it was a lot of fun. The fight was a little bit longer, but you had everything collected together, and you had to basically use some kind of, let's say, tactic. You know what I mean? You have to take care of plenty of things. And this was honestly fun. I like this one a lot. And you have to adapt for each stage too, like parry one, then dodge the other, and then collect the last. And it was also randomized, so it was always a different find. And I liked it a lot. And dying itself, I think I had a few people that were dying, also on the Defiler anchor. That was hilarious to see. I never had the issue two people dying at the same time. I myself never died before yet. I just once had a close call on Geppetto because it was unfortunate, but I never really died. So I think it's
I've died once, and it was very funny, but it was still just I died, and the people were able to revive me because it was like on a off situation that like you know it wasn't really a thing that they had to work around or kind of revive me around a boss or anything like that. I just kind of wasn't paying attention, and I was like, "Oops, I got hit by a real strong attack. My bad."
Oh well.
I never died. I'm just a gamer. I don't know what to say.
I'm a squishy mage over here. I died like a couple times.
Real and true.
Ignore the fact that I was playing like Yi Zhuan, where like half of her attacks dodge and parry. Ignore that. Don't talk about that.
True and real.
True and real. A professional Yishuan gamer never dies because of iframes.
Exactly.
Well, I do also want to briefly go back to a point that Thirsty made about the miasma droplets and like their implementation for the hater fight and the pale breath is kind of whatever because hater just kind of does his thing. But the implementation for Geppetto is like in the nightmare fight. It's during the invulnerability phase where you like run around the circle and like don't get hit by the walls that make you slow down and like
the Ether carousel.
not able to do anything. And those are a lot harder and a lot more fun to get the miasma, or not the miasma, the purification things for, in my opinion, because like it's a lot more obstacles and it's just funny.
It also helps with downtime. Yeah. It also helps with the downtime of the invincibility phase, like you're doing something.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wouldn't be mad if they put those into more miasma phases in like the actual game, like outside of multiplayer, the purification droplets.
To be honest, I would agree. I can see that. I think I would be fine with this, but not during the battle like Hater was. But yeah, the carousel was fine, but I never really focused on these. I just ran around.
But like imagine, I don't know, let's say the Thrall, right? During his like flying around phases, you could like a few droplets spawn. It doesn't need to be like anything crazy. But
I get what you mean, yeah.
I think it would just be something to do.
Maybe they will do it.
Yeah.
I can hope.
Let's go to bosses. We just sort of alluded to a couple of the mechanics of bosses. Do you think the enemies in this were just the right ones, or do you think they missed a mark on one or two?
Fine, to be honest. Like,
I have no complaints about any of them.
Yeah, we had 3 different varieties. We had a Gen 1, a Gen 2, and then we had Geppetto, which is from Hollow Zero specifically. I think this is at least in the Nightmare version. And this is totally fine. This is like you have miasma, you don't have miasma, and Geppetto has his ether carousel where you run around in circles. I think you had since this is variety and you had from everything a little bit, no issues detected. And the other one, standards, fine.
I think every boss was actually quite well worked for multiplayer, or they already were well made, so that way you could do that. I did like that the Defiler did not go into his army state during the boss.
Yeah,
yes, I do.
The Defiler doesn't have any of its other stall mechanics. It only has the miasma phase.
Yeah.
It's good. I think the anchor to have there is a good thing for multiplayer. Yep. I think this can bring out so many funny moments when people die. I had one where Lucia used her, I think it was her EX or ultimate, and she then, for the anchor, and she then went out of this circle and couldn't go back in, and then she died. It looked so hilarious. I shouldn't laughing at my dying teammates.
Yeah, I think the bosses were fine. I'm glad that they didn't choose Wandering Hunter because the music makes my brain hurt.
Real.
Real and true.
Yeah. Do you think there's any other
Imagine-
bosses? Oh, go ahead.
Imagine it would have been like an environmental, obstacle that it plays the music, but on a higher tone even to disturb
Please
your.
no.
I think
Sorry,
the only
Sophie.
boss I miss or wish they did have was Nineth, because I did love that fight from the beginning, and that would have been actually
Nineveh?
good. Where Nineveh.
Yeah, I was surprised that they didn't use Nineveh.
I think
I guess she's
big
I guess
for now. She's like very, very big.
Well, that's why she'd be perfect.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm surprised they didn't do Bringer either. His moveset kind of lends pretty well. As long as you don't freeze him. he's got a lot of area of effect attacks that force the entire stage to dodge. So I'm surprised we didn't see Bringer at all.
I'm
Yeah.
happy about the filer. I don't need to tell why.
the non-freezable made it actually quite well, and that was you still got your effects from Miyabi, but it still was the fact that they didn't freeze was a good thing, even though the vital views came up and slowed the enemy down a couple times, but it still is nice that how the effects were for each boss.
True. I agree.
Yeah, but yeah.
I think it was well done for a testing phase, to be fair, because we were also able to see how miasma phases work. We saw how the implementation for the first generation, so they keep continuing with these bosses as well. Geppetto wasn't forgotten too, because he was taken out on Hollow Zero, so he is now there in multiplayer and not in the Lost Void anymore for now, at least in the original one. Yeah, I think it's fine. It's a cool stuff. Geppetto lore.
And going over the outline, I think we covered everything from my outline. Do we have any final thoughts on this mode?
Positive. I think the takeaway should be that this is good. There's some things that should be worked on, and I hope that they work on it. And there's gonna be some things that probably pop up later on that even like if this becomes a full rollout, or if it's just like an occasional event like Auto Chess is, there's probably gonna be some flaws that we haven't foreseen yet. But I think overall they should be commended that this was a good rollout. It's a good test. One weird other thing that kind of fits nowhere else. The emotes that you get from the level up process, you do get to keep for Outposts. So have fun with that knowledge of annoying your Outpost with Bernice.
The voiced emotes are legendary. I love them, especially Seeds one.
Yeah.
Ba-ba.
Yeah, no. I think this was a nice little extra they throw in there. So I liked it.
Yeah, I have pretty much similar sentiment to Cap. Is like as a baseline introduction to the game mode, I like it. I have hopes and dreams of what they will do for it in the future when it becomes permanent, and I think their introduction of the mechanics they want to change is pretty solid. Could use some changes, and I have hope they're gonna work it out. I'm very optimistic overall about the multiplayer in the future, but I overall liked the game mode. Pretty positive, 9.5 out of 10.
Let's go. I'm in a similar boat. I don't really have too much to add. I think for first impression, it was awesome. I will give more feedback probably later on the second instance, because this is then where things get a little bit more real and they do put in more stuff, which is also important for you, proxy or listener, that for the next survey, they will definitely ask about the multiplayer stuff. So be prepared, and I hope you will give in your personal input as well, because all the four of us will do so with the things we have talked about. And yeah, so that we are a community together to give feedback to the ZZZ game devs that they make something great, because this has a lot of potential. And if they see that plenty of people are liking this, and also give like constructive criticism, it is important to not just, oh yeah, 5 out of 5 stars, it is perfect, nothing needs to be corrected. No, 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 no. We will be real, we will do constructive criticism, give feedback, what can be improved, and hopefully it will be a permanent game mode. And who knows, maybe in 1 year we have a full implementation and everyone loves CCC because of the new multiplayer edition. I don't know many gacha games that have multiplayer, so I actually love to see that it is now in one of my favorite games I ever played, gacha-wise. Yeah, that's my initial impression.
Yeah, and to comment on constructive criticism, small tutorial. You give what you like, you give what you dislike, and for things that you dislike, you give solutions or potential solutions to fix it.
True, ideas, solutions,
Yeah.
etc.
So be sure to do that, and do that for everything that you criticize about the game. It's one thing to say this is bad. That doesn't say anything to the devs. This is like saying this is bad.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you want me to do about it? Because if it's bad, what's bad about it? How do I fix
Exactly.
it?
Explaining is always a good thing, like what is bad? If you say the whole game is bad, then don't play it. It's that easy. But yeah, it counts also for real life. Like constructive criticism is something that some people have not learned, or maybe don't do it not often enough. But here we are like intelligent proxy individuals, so we will count on your intelligence, my dear proxy. I'm sorry about that one.
I think this was a great implementation. Again, the working of the network, the networking of the friends in this was very easily to do, and my probably only gripe is that they could have added one more anomaly character just for disorders and getting that like mechanic totally fleshed out. But
Yeah.
and with that,
it was funny.
yeah, overall, I think it was a great mode. All right, with that, we're gonna sign out here. So Thirsty, where can we find you?
You can find me on my YouTube channel, Random Blood Gaming, where I post various random videos from fighting, the A challenges, but also reports, which I should do at some point again because I'm late on again. So yeah. But I'm also can be found on Discord. I am the owner of the Battle Hub Discord server with all those podcasts buddies I have here right now. I also have a private Discord server, and I am mod or admin in a few others, but also lurk around in even more. So yeah, you will find my name in the Discord if you type it. I'm pretty much everywhere.
Savadra, where can we find you?
Right here, baby. I'm kidding. You can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/@Savadra or on Twitch at twitch.tv/Savadra. I tend to stream on Twitch. I upload videos sometimes. It's been a bit of a slow start to the year for me because I have a bunch of stuff that I'm like working around and like getting my affairs in order before I like sit down and start editing another big video. But Like I'm gonna make boss guides, guys. It's gonna happen. We're gonna learn how to fight some bosses. It's gonna be great.
Mm-hmm.
And otherwise, I am the co-owner of the Battle Hub Discord server. I'm in a fair few other content creator Discord servers and Zenless, kind of most of the places. Yeah, I am around, and not as around as Blood, but I'm around.
Chap, where can we find you?
You can find me around, but if you're looking for Zenless related content, you can find us in the Battle Hub Discord, or I guess right now it's kind of going through a cheese phase. I don't know. For those who know, you know, but I don't know. I don't know what the joke is. I just went along with it and renamed one of the channels, so it's fine.
That cheese from Canada.
Yeah.
That cheddar from Canada.
Cheese feed you. Oh well, oh well.
But
Yeah, we
that's
do
where
some
you'll
funny
find me.
stuff.
I also just show up in weird places, but you know.
You can find him in Canada too. Get some cheese
Yeah.
from him.
In the wilderness. You need to it's like the Slender Man trials. You need to like find the 7 cheese wheels and you'll find me.
Find my cheeses.
Oh my god, the slender cheese is following you through the forest. Oh my god.
I
What about you,
myself,
Where can we
Softy?
find you?
I myself am a DA runner and do some weird DA runs with a twist. And then on YouTube, you can find me at Softy Mage. That's where I just talked about my YouTube stuff. And then I am also one of the moderators of the Battle Hub Discord server / Cheap Hub Discord server. And I am on most other Discords as well for ZZZ.
Awesome.
So until next time, guys, take care.
See ya.
Have a good one.
See you around. Cheers.